All right, welcome aboard, Raider Nation. Well, the Raiders are 11-3, first place once again in the AFC West. Just like I said last week, everybody was panicking. Oh, the Raiders dropped from first place to fifth place. Oh, the Chiefs beat them. The Chiefs have the tiebreaker. I kept saying we got a couple of weeks to go. I kept saying the Chiefs will not win out. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Did I think it was going to be Tennessee? No, but that's a bonus right there. I thought that game was over. I thought they had Tennessee beat. And when Tennessee came back and I looked at it, I said, oh, my God, the AFC West is right there. It's right in our hands. This football team is going to figure out a way to get it done. And by the end of Sunday, we are going to be not only number one in the AFC West, but we're going to have a playoff spot. And I got to admit, it was a little bit tense there for a few minutes. I didn't understand some of the things that we were doing. I didn't understand, some of the calls that were made offensively, some of the game plan. But let me just say this, folks.
What's that?
What?
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
Yes, yeah, we're talking about playoffs. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you, Jim Mora. We're talking about playoffs. The Raiders, 11-3, back in the playoffs, baby. What a game. What a game by Bruce Irvin. How about all those people that were talking about, oh, Bruce Irvin, not so good, and all the guys that were brought in, not so good. Bruce Irvin playing his butt off, containing the edge, creating a pass rush. He knows Aldon Smith may be coming back. He knows there's a fire that's being lit under this guy right now because he looks like a different player the second half of the season than he did in the first half of the season. Now, I don't know what we're going to do with Sean Smith. I just don't know. I mean, it seemed like every single play that the Chargers made today, they made off of Sean Smith. Emerson gave up a couple of catches, but everything that I saw Emerson give up really was perfectly defended. I mean, I thought he just did a fantastic job of being able to, shut those types of passes down. But, once again.
We'll talk about playoffs.
Yeah.
You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yes, playoffs. All right. I cannot be on too long. We're decorating the Christmas tree tonight and got my present for this year. Part of my Christmas present was just get us into the playoffs. We did that. We are now in the playoffs. How that turns out, what happens, if we can do what we did today against San Diego, against some better football teams that we're going to face in the playoffs, in some cold weather environments, that's we're going to have to talk about that. But once again, we got some really cool things coming down the pike here. We've got a fantastic playoff show. It's a collaboration that is going to be epic. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. We're once again going to do something that hasn't been done on Facebook and YouTube. We're going to try anyway. So again, like, subscribe. Stay tuned for that because it is going to be epic. We got a few different show ideas and concepts that are going to be coming out. Some really cool collaborations and things that we're going to be doing now that this team, boom, has gone ahead and pushed its way, folks, pushed its way into the playoffs. Okay, so once again, I can't be on here for very long, maybe an hour, hour and a half at the most. But let's go ahead and go to our first caller. Caller's calling in from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Caller, you're on.
Hey, what up, Pirate? This is Pedro from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Just got to say one thing real quick. Well, not real quick, but
Raiders. Hang on a second.
Playoffs? You kidding me?
So excited.
Playoffs? I did.
Go ahead, man. Talk it out.
Dude, I tried keeping up with the game like on the radio, but it was a very slow pace, like really cringeworthy game, but we pulled it out, Hats off to San Diego. The Chargers, man, they played really well, man. With respect to them, they're a good team. They're having a down year, but they're very good. How about those Titans, huh? It's ironic
yes.
how the Chiefs got beat by their own kicker, Mr. Irrelevant, who isn't irrelevant with that awesome kick that he made. Badass. I'm so happy that they lost. And people in the media are still going to try to kiss that butt. Oh, the Raiders, they're still not as good as the Chiefs. Like, shut up.
Yeah.
We're on top of the division right now. It's ours for the taking. We just have to play out the rest of the season. It really sucks when I have Alden Smith playing. You know, your bill's getting ridiculous with this crap. It's absolutely ridiculous that he's putting Alden Smith through that. Like, at least let him do with his team if he can't play the year. You know what I mean? But that's just me. I'm really proud of the effort, though. It's been 10 plus years since we made the playoffs. Oh my God, I'm so happy. This is so great. 11-3. What a great record. I'm really proud of the way the defense played. Reggie Nelson, you're the man. Got that pick for the end of the game. And Khalil Mack playing like a beast, like always. He should be the defensive player of the year, hands down. I know Von Miller's a beast, but come on. He's been a stud all year pretty much. And I'm very happy, man. I'm just so happy. This has been a really great weekend, and this is so great, man. It's so great. It sucks that the Broncos weren't able to beat the Patriots, but
no. But you know what? You know what? I'm totally fine with that. At the end of the day, there's a couple of things that stick out to me. Number one, I don't remember a season ever where there's been this much up and down for one football team that continues to win, by the way, where, like I said, you're first place in the division, you're first place in the AFC West, you're first place in the entire league, you've got a bye. Oh, you're fifth place. Oh, my God, wait. Oh, hang on. No, wait. Now you're back to first place. It's just so – and there's still 2 weeks left of this. So it's not a situation where – this can't change next week, because obviously it can. We can go right back to being the 5th seed. It looks like it's going to come down to the last game of the season. But how about Andy Reid? You dabbing now, Andy? Are you dabbing now, Andy? Andy was sitting there after the game dabbing. Yeah, I'm Andy Reid. I'm the Walrus. Check me out, right? And now today, guess what? Guess what, Walrus? You're not in charge of the AFC West right now. And if we can win, and again, that's a big if, because the game plan today, I cannot believe they're having the success that they're having running the ball out of the shotgun. I mean, it's so obvious. I cannot believe that is a testament to the offensive line, what they're able to do up there. It's a testament. Latavius Murray is running hard. He's running well. He's hitting those holes. He's not dancing as much. I mean, it's just incredible what they were able to do out of the shotgun. I mean, that's just crazy that they were able to run the way that they were. But again, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that against some of these better playoff teams. So I'm just hoping, again, that this team gets healthy. It's obviously something with the finger. They want to keep telling you it's not. That's a lie. You don't do, 100% of your snaps other than one under center when you get a guy to jump off sides if the finger's not a problem. Again, those two things really stood out. Andy, are you dabbing now, Andy? Are you dabbing now? And the second thing was, I just don't remember, with 2 weeks in the season left, this kind of a seesaw where, once again, we could still be the 5th seed. The good thing is we're in. So it doesn't matter. There are teams right now like Baltimore, Pittsburgh, they don't know. One of those guys ain't going to be in, right? So, even look at Houston and Tennessee, right? One of those guys is not going to be in. So it's going to be a seesaw, but here we are, man. We got an early Christmas present. The Oakland Raiders are in the playoffs.
And like you said, last week, you told me last week, there was 1 year when we swept everybody in the AFC West, but we still didn't get to go to the playoffs. So you never know, something like that could happen. But I'm excited, man. We got to beat those Colts, man. My brother-in-law's a freaking Colts fan, and I just want to rub it in his face. So, you got to cut the O-line.
There you go, brother.
Khalil Mack could have a lot of fun with that weak O-line of the Colts next week. Should be decent on them, Him and Nerden.
Amen.
We got to make that quarterback Andrew look uncomfortable as possible, man. We got to do it.
Oh, Andrew Luck looked pretty good, today.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. Like I said, if particularly if they play sort of the way that they played today. I mean, it just seemed like Carr had no chemistry with anybody other than Michael Crabtree, really. The Seth Roberts play was big, but we've got to get something going on here. Get him back under center. I mean, this team is going to be so dangerous if we can get Derek Carr. If we can get that finger back healthy and we can get him back under center and open up the entire offense, we are going to be dangerous. If not, I think we'll still be dangerous, as you saw today. But I think it'll limit us just a little bit.
Now, not to mention, we still have Mario Edwards Jr. back, so imagine having him back. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
It's going to be a huge boost to the defense, that's for sure.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So, yeah, I just want to thank you for everything that you do for the Raider Nation, man. You keep up the great content. Med luck to the Raider Nation. Peace and honor to everybody. Yeah, just win, baby. We won.
Absolutely.
No matter what, we're in the playoffs.
We're in the playoffs. Woo! Raiders! All right, brother, man. All right, we will talk, man. We'll talk after the Colts game, man. But for right now, we're in the playoffs. First time since 2002. Man, oh, man, oh, man. What a feeling that is. Looking real quick. Raiders again, 19. We were only able to score 19 points at this point. But again, we only gave up 16 points. The defense played really, really well, other than at the end of the third quarter when we went into a very predictable, we allowed Phillip Rivers just to march right down the field. It is what it is. But you know what? It's a victory. We came out. We did what we had to do. We were able to run the football. We were able to throw the football. The offensive line protected. We gave up 2 sacks. Oh, God, I almost forgot about Austin Howard. I'm not going to start. I'm not going to start in at this point. This is a happy, happy time. Once again, Raiders are playoff bound for the first time since 2002. We didn't score any points in the fourth quarter. We did score two field goals in the fourth quarter. We didn't allow any points in the fourth quarter, which is a huge thing. Again, this defense, once again, in the fourth quarter, completely shut a team out. This is a phenomenal fourth quarter defense. I don't know if people understand that or not, but they are not allowing teams to score points in the fourth quarter. It doesn't matter what you do in the first couple of quarters, in the first 3 quarters. They are not allowing teams to score very many points in the fourth quarter. And that is huge. So Derek Carr ends the day with 213 yards, 19 of 30. Again, had to throw the ball 30 times for only 200 yards. So that's off a little bit. But once again, it's what we needed. Latavius Murray, 81 yards, 6.2 yards per carry. That's the type of running that we need. We need that consistently. We need that every single week. It cannot be a sporadic thing once every 4 weeks, once every 6 weeks. If Latavius Murray can get 81 yards on 13 to 15 carries every week, forget about it. Forget about it. Richard, 6 carries, 36 yards. He averaged about 6 yards, per carry. Michael Crabtree coming up big, 6 catches, 60 yards, but none bigger than that big touchdown. Toe drag swag, you got to give it to that guy. I mean, he's just, when they're shutting down Cooper, which they were able to do today, and we don't even know. We have to look at the game film. I'm sure Cooper got open a number of times, but, if they're going to rotate coverage to that side, Derek Carr he's a machine. He's a machine. He's just going to go to his next – he's going to go to his next check down, Rivers only had 206 yards. So once again, Derek Carr eclipses Phillip Rivers. Rivers did have the 2 touchdowns, but he also had the interception as well. So again, we were plus 15, and then we gave up the 2 turnovers, but then we got 2 turnovers back. So once again, when you talk about this defense, it's a plus 15 defense. I don't think anybody's seen a defense like this. I don't, because again, statistically, you would say not a good defense, 27, 26, whatever they are. But when you look at the plus 15 turnover differential and the fact that in 4 weeks they're giving up like 6 points or 9 points, I'd have to look back at it right now. That's unbelievable. Okay, they're getting the turnovers when they have to. They're clamping down when they have to. They're doing all the things that they have got to do. You know, they didn't get just decimated by the tight end today. There were some passes to the tight ends. Henry had 3 catches, 37 yards. You know, Gates was held to only 1 catch for 11 yards. But that Dontrell Inman, he was getting after us. Now, you know, again, defensively, Amerson, 6 tackles, Bruce Irvin, 5 tackles, but Bruce Irvin, 2 sacks coming up huge today. Danico Autry, 3 tackles and 1 sack. You know, Reggie Nelson with the big interception. And then you look at the forced fumbles, Bruce Irvin and Perry Riley, 2 forced fumbles. So once again, I mean, this defense, even though the numbers aren't great, you're not looking at this like it's a Baltimore defense or it's like an old Pittsburgh defense or anything like that. It certainly is doing what it needs to do when the game is on the line. And that is what's important here. Okay, we've got a lot of callers calling in. We got Sunnyvale, Highland, California, Red Bluff, Nassau, Zone 5, New York, and Visalia, California still on the line. So guys, just hang in there 1 second, and I will be getting right to you. Okay, so we got a caller calling in from Sunnyvale, California. Caller, you're on. Nope. Raiders. Merry Christmas, brother man. How do you like your silver and black wrapped early Christmas present from Pirate Claus? Do you love it?
I love it, my man. I love it.
All right. Talk to me about what you saw today, man.
I thought the game was a very frustrating game offensively of how the 2 early turnovers, the fumble by Murray and the interception by Carr in the red zone. But I'm just glad that his team pulled through and got the W in the end. And we're in the playoffs, baby.
Amen.
I can't have some more.
Here we go, brother.
Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yes, Jim. We're talking playoffs, brother man. And like you said, you know, if we look back at this, there were several plays. Again, the uncharacteristic fumble by Murray, the interception by Derek Carr, both of those happening, you know, on San Diego's side of the field. This could have been another 35, 40-point type of game had we not made some of these errors. Momentum was on our side. You know, we were moving the chains. We were coming along. This team, like I said, if you the first 5 or 6 games of the season, I got frustrated too. But now I understand the formula. The formula is very simple. We're going to come out in the first quarter. We're not going to do very much. We're going to test you. We're going to see if you can cover the entire field. We're going to throw to our fullbacks. We're going to run out of the draw. We're going to run the bubble screens. We're going to make you defend the entire field. We're not going to get very much, but we're going to make you defend the entire field. You're going to have to play us honest. Then you're going to score some points, and right before the half, we're going to score some points. Then we're going to come out in the third quarter, and then we're going to repeat that same process, and we're going to get the points that we need in the fourth quarter. That has happened in every single game except city games. Those are the only games that we didn't follow that exact model. So, once again, I don't get frustrated. Now I just kind of sit back and I go, okay, it's going to be a close game. This is what we do. I thought, again, Derek Carr was a little bit off, nowhere near where he was off in Kansas City. But, I thought he was missing by an inch here, an inch there. But this could have been a runaway game. I really wish it would have been a runaway game. But once again, man, we're in the playoffs. First time since 2002. We're going to play a playoff game. And that means that it's a whole brand new season, and we have a shot. We have a legitimate shot in the Super Bowl.
Yep. I feel that when Carr's injury goes away, once his pinky heals up, I feel that he's going to be able to take more snaps under center, and it'll make our offense more dynamic and less predictable, like these past couple of weeks against Kansas City, San Diego.
Yeah, Buffalo, right? The end of the Panther game. I mean, again, the announcer said that Derek Carr's been struggling, but in reality, he really only struggled in that one game. In the Kansas City game, that was pretty much it. He's been off a little bit. He was off a little bit in Buffalo. I thought he threw the ball really well at the end of the Carolina game after they fixed the finger. But he was really only really off in that Kansas City game. So we really gotta hope that finger does get healthy and then it gets healthy soon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will, because a dislocated pinky usually heals in about 4 to 6 weeks. I'm pretty sure it'll all healed up before week 17 or even before the playoffs. So I'm not worried about that.
Absolutely, man. All right, brother. Well, once again, man, we appreciate your call. Make sure, if you don't, check us out on our daily show. Like and subscribe. We got some really cool shows that are going to be coming out here, some playoff shows, some AFC West shows, and some cool collaborations. Appreciate you calling, brother, man. Look for our video tomorrow.
All right, man. Have a good night.
All right, man. Go Raiders!
Raiders!
All right, man. So yeah, once again, like I said, if Derek Carr, this is the thing, the thing that always freaks me out is Jack Del Rio tends to not tell the truth about injuries. So it could be a hairline fracture, could be severe dislocation, could be a basic dislocation. I mean, obviously it's going to take you, 2 to 6 weeks to heal completely, which should be, if we can continue to win, it should be totally healthy by the time we have to play that first playoff game, because we'll be the number 2 seed. So we'll be sitting at home, extra week to heal up, and again, like the last caller just said, with Edwards Jr. coming back to push that pocket, if you guys think Danico Autry is creating some havoc in there right now, wait until Mario Edwards Jr. gets into that lineup and starts just demolishing people, shutting down the run, pushing the pocket. I mean, I know it's a lot to ask. He's been out for the majority of the season, but if he can get back in there, he's a game changer, and he makes Khalil Mack that much better. I mean, I think you guys all remember when Aldon Smith was in there, we thought that was going to be, what was going to, create the great pass rush. But it wasn't until Smith went out, and then they had to take Mario Edwards from the outside and put him on the inside. He started pushing the pocket. Once he did that, he started pushing guys toward Khalil Mack, and that's when we saw Khalil Mack really begin to shine. Unfortunately, I thought Khalil Mack played his heart out. He didn't get that consecutive sack. That's okay. I mean, the bottom line is, you know what? Keep doing what you have to do to get us those wins. Get in there, create havoc, cause pressure, make the quarterback throw the ball before he wants to throw the ball. Make him know that you're back there. Let the secondary take advantage of those throws a second too early or a second too late, and create some turnovers. And that's what we were doing. That's what we were doing today. So once again, this team is just getting better. They're just getting better at this point. All right, we got a caller calling in from Highland, California. Caller, you're on.
Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Caller, we're in the playoffs.
That's hilarious.
What's happening, brother man?
I love it. Anyways, this was like, watching this game was unbelievable because I could feel the tension in the players. It was almost like, and I'm a fan of a lot of different sports, and a lot of people, this is the last sport you want to hear about, but I'm going to bring up soccer for 2 quick seconds.
All right.
This is like soccer in the sense that most soccer clubs don't win overnight. They have these growing pains. And football teams are similar in the sense that to go from not even being 500 to maybe a bye, that is a huge, that's like most teams are just sneaking the playoffs in the next year, they take off. I mean, you saw that with the Golden State Warriors. You've seen that with a lot of young teams in all different kinds of sports. You take these steps. This team is quite literally maybe 1 or 2 tweaks on the defensive side of the football from being the best team in the league, which is insane to think.
And I want to quickly hit on that. We got to play cover 2 almost the whole game, especially if we get Alden back and Mario clicking, because these corners in man coverage, you need a safety on both sides to help. You just do. And if that means that they're going to think we're going to give up yards, thinking and dunking, I'd rather that than these quick hitting scores. Because in the postseason, you're going to play a team like the Steelers potentially, or the Patriots, or more than likely both, to get to where you want to get to. You can't let Antonio Brown, you can't let Emmett, like these little tiny fast receivers from the Patriots, get off like that. So that's like the one tweak I want to see us, have our safeties protect more. And that'll also change, of course, when you get Carl Joseph in there, because he can do both. He could play some slot and he could play safety, because I remember watching the game, they were kicking him down over slot because he's just that good of a DB.
Yeah.
But if those changes are made, it doesn't. I'm happy if, no matter what, because you know what? The last time we made the playoffs, my brother, I had a full head of hair.
So did I. So did I.
Too long. You know what I'm saying?
Amen. Hey, man, I'm right there with you. I had a full head of hair myself, and been pulling it out. Some of it's fallen out from age. Other parts of it fell out from me pulling it out watching this football team. But we've talked about that in the past. Jason, the Oakland Knight, and myself, we've had many discussions about that where, we have talked about how some teams can go through that process over the course of a season. Some teams can go through that process over the course of years where, you're in a losing season, then you got to come into a 8-8 season, and then you have to have one or two of those like Dallas is having right now, or like we had with John Gruden, 2 8-8 seasons before all of a sudden you kind of kick the door in. But there are also teams that do that over the course of a year, and you look at the Carolina Panthers, you look at some teams like the New York Giants, teams that just kind of
Warner Rams team.
Exactly, where it doesn't matter that you haven't been winning. It doesn't matter that you're not a perennial playoff team. In some cases, that kind of helps you. Look at Cincinnati. Cincinnati right now, this reminds me of the Buffalo Bills, right? I mean, you're good for so many years, and you should be there. You're a favorite every single year. Now is your time. That's why I try to tell people, I don't want that. I don't want to sit there and, not this year, maybe next year. We're going to be good for years. No, you know what? Screw that. I'll take one Super Bowl this year. And keep it going forward. You know what I mean? And hopefully try to build moving forward. Go ahead.
I also have one thing I want to say, though. Like one last thing, and then I'll let you get to some other great callers. There's a big problem in the red zone, and it's called not using Amari Cooper in the slot or motioning him around and getting him on the move. So I don't know how come when I watch Kansas City, the way they move their slot receiver back and forth across the formation so that they're on the move, so that the defender and the defense is really like, it's a misdirection play, and then you can get these guys underneath on these little short routes. We got to start getting Cooper a lot more touches. He's been like 5 straight weeks without a touchdown or a big game, and he is way too talented. I personally feel like this team's at its best when he's clicking. He's the X factor on our offense, because he's the only guy on this offense that at any given moment I believe can take it to the house. And he needs to be involved more. And go Raiders! And I can't believe I'll actually have something to do in January. Go Raiders!
Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
There we go.
And tell the Oakland Knight. Tell everyone that happy Merry Christmas and love, and I hope everybody's doing well.
Amen, brother. All right, we appreciate you calling, and we hope to hear from you again next week, man. Those are some good points. I look at this football team, and unfortunately, and I say that in a good way. I mean, there's kind of a lot to be said. On one side, I want Amari Cooper to be our Randy Moss. I want him to be our AJ Green. I want him to be our Antonio Bryant or Des Bryant. I want him to be the guy. Unfortunately, in this offense, and maybe even with this quarterback, coming out of Derek Carr's mentality, coming out of Fresno was throw to the open guy. I mean, whoever's going to be open, throw to the open guy. So at the end of the day, that's kind of what you're going to get, right? You're going to get basically whoever is open. That's the guy that I'm going to go to, right? So again, when we're kind of watching this, we have to understand that they're literally looking for a guy like Walford. They're looking for a Richard. They're looking for, we have 8-9 guys that can catch the ball and make a difference, including our fullback. Okay, so this is a football team right now that is not going to have a Randy Moss on it. They're not going to have a big-time Jerry Rice style wide receiver. Basically, they're going to get the ball to whoever's open. And that's kind of what it is, So once we kind of get used to that, I think it's, we're not going to be sitting here kind of like, man, we got to do this. Why can't we get this guy involved? Why can't we get that guy involved? It really does come down to a numbers game. Derek Carr is going to get the ball to the guy that's open. Is there somebody? I can hear somebody, but I don't see anybody on this caller. Are you there? I hear this really weird breathing. Is there anybody on the line?
Is that me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I don't see everything. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh.
Hello?
Pirate.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Pirate.
Who is this? Okay, wait. Unmuting. It's saying muted. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello? I can hear you. I don't understand what the heck is going on here. It keeps telling me that these things are muted. So there's oh, I think I know why. Okay, go ahead now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, what's going down?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, well, how come? Oh, you're logged into the W2W.
How am I logged? Well, why? Because my phone is connected to the server.
Yeah, okay. God, I was like, who is breathing? What? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, please welcome to the stage, the Oakland Knight!
What's going on, y'all? How y'all been? What's going on, Pirate?
Hang on a second, man. I'm going to open up the lines for everybody up on here, man. Everybody, anybody wants to say something to the Oakland Knight, give it a shot right now.
Hello, man. Am I on?
Hang on, Watts.
What?
All right, man. Hey, what's going on, man?
I don't know, man. Besides me fighting for the last 2 weeks, I don't know, man. I don't know what's been going on.
Check it out.
Playoffs? We'll talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
For the record, me and Pirate are cool as hell. And I've been watching you, man. I've been watching you, man. And it almost feels like I've been holding you back because you're killing it.
Oh, man.
Killing it. Loving the videos, brother.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Doing the best I can at this point. Uh-oh, you're getting all kinds of callers now. You got people calling in. Uh-oh, the line's just fired up, folks. Keep going, man. Keep going.
All right, man. Wait. What do we got to say, man? Playoffs, right?
Playoffs? Here we go.
Man, we waited a long time for this.
Here we go. Hang on.
Talk about playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
All right, man. Talk to me about what you saw in that game, man. What's going down?
Man, you know what? I was sitting here thinking about it, man, and it's typical Raider football this year, right? We said it. We kind of figured Bill Musgrave out. I would say 6 weeks ago we were talking about, you know what? We give him a bad time, but I'm kind of understanding what he's doing. It's the same routine.
Yeah.
He's going to jab, and in the fourth quarter he's going to try to knock you out. The biggest thing that I keep seeing the last 3 weeks, though, regardless of what condition Derek Carr's pinky's in, It's the shotgun that's holding us back,
Yes.
especially in the red zone.
Yeah.
I mean, we're managing it. We're getting the job done. You had the one bad game against Kansas City, yes, but other than that, he's looked okay throwing the football. And the good thing is I think we're learning how to run out of the shotgun a little better. So that might help down the road.
Right.
But we're missing that power running game, man, especially inside the red zone. We need to be in under center. We need to get the eye back going and just slamming Murray in the middle. And I think that is what really held us back, especially today in the red zone, is not being able to run plays from under shotgun. But with that being said, a W is a W, baby, and we're headed to the playoffs, man. This is something we've been talking about since preseason, and I'm kind of speechless. I was just kind of shocked, man. But, if you look at the teams we played, too, we might struggle a little bit, and our defense may look a little shady. I could only think of 2 games where we played quarterbacks that you can't call elite. Tennessee with Mariota, and you got Buffalo with, what was his name?
Tyrone Taylor.
Tyrone Taylor, whatever.
Tyrone, yeah. We'll just call him Tyrone.
We played elite quarterbacks all year. We played elite quarterbacks all year. So this defense may be better than we even think it is,
Well, and look at Mariota beats today Mariota beat Kansas City, So once again, I mean, whether they're elite or they're not elite, this is a good football team. What do you think about the fact that this team has only given up I don't know, I think it's like 9 points in the last 4 games in the fourth quarter. I think a field goal and maybe a couple other field. I have to look it up, but it's some pretty ridiculous number. In 4 games, they've given up like 6 points or 9 points.
Well, I've been seeing it for a while, right before I even stopped joining, getting on here and conquer football every day. But this defense was slowly just emerging. They're starting to understand what Jack Del Rio was implementing. I think the last time I talked to you on the phone, we were talking about how Jack has really implemented his system, but he couldn't necessarily implement his full plan and really mess up what they worked on all year. It'll just confuse players. But now that we're starting to really get deep into the season's almost over, you're starting to see a kind of a different identity and these guys understanding where they're supposed to be. We're still a bend and don't break kind of defense. We're giving up big plays over the top. Every once in a while, we'll let a running back pop out and get some yards. But, man, lately this defense just, it'll give up something, but then it'll shut you down. It'll get you to turnover. This defense is slowly but surely starting to get to a point where they can take over games. And at the right time, now that we're going to be heading into the playoffs, Mario Edwards Jr. is reported to be back possibly next week.
Yeah.
And the verdict for Alden Smith should come next week. So you get that on top of everything that's already going on right now. What about James Cowser, man? That guy's a little tight dynamite. He was making today. This defense is starting to look scary, Byron.
Yeah. No, and I was saying that too. I mean, again, look at the turnover differential. That comes generally from your defense, not from your offense. So you're looking at a team that's generating forced fumbles, that's getting interceptions. Those turnovers are helping your defense out. Then you're not giving up when your offense is coming back in the fourth quarter. The defense is not allowing the other team to score, not even field goals. I mean, I got to look at it. I'm going to bring in another caller here. I'm going to bring in Tim here. Talk to Tim for a second because I want to look this up. And I know Tim's been dying to get a hold of you, so hang on a second. Tim,
All right.
You there?
Hey, Knight. Glad to hear you, brother. We've been all missing you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Man, I'm just getting some stuff lined up. I'm working on a couple of different projects, but, man, I had to call in and get Pirate at that time and clear the air about me and Pirate's relationship.
Oh, man.
But it's good to hear you, man. It's good to hear you.
You, man. Can't ask for better Christmas. Good. Seeing you on here or talking at least a little bit again. What are you saying about you? Considering the fact that, we've been waiting, 13 years for this to finally start happening?
Absolutely, man. 13 years, and I still remember the day, the last time I was there, the playoff game, beating the Tennessee Titans, and holding up that AFC Championship trophy, man. It's been a very long time, and I'm hoping for that opportunity again, man. It's best early Christmas gift I've gotten in over a decade. That's for sure.
Absolutely, man. These Raiders are, they may not look pretty solid time in the win. And you know what? If that's what it's going to be the rest of this year, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I've come accustomed to it. It's funny. I remember, watching that first game against New Orleans, and I felt like I was going to have a heart attack. We always made jokes about making sure we're stocking up on our Valiums and our nitro pills. And But now I'm watching these games and we go down in the fourth quarter by 3, and I'm just kind of sitting back and, okay, any minute now we're going to stop them and we'll catch up and we'll get the touchdown. And it just keeps happening week after week. And even in that Kansas City game, we had a shot. So this team is remarkable, man. It's been a really fun season. Even though my heart has took a hit, it's just been fun to kick back and watch.
You know what? We all recover, man. Just remember that.
Absolutely.
All right, I think I got a thing here. All right, fourth quarter points. 6.9 fourth quarter points in general. Throughout the entire 2016 season, we're allowing 6.9 points. But in the last 3 games, we've allowed, and now you would include today's game because it was 0 points, 2.3 points in the fourth quarter, and that's in the last 3 games. So you take the 3 points that they are 0 points that they got today, so the number would stay the same. So that number goes down to like 1 point something points per game, right? I mean, that's incredible. That's why I was saying, and I think a lot of people probably won't appreciate what I'm saying, other than probably you, a few other people, where what you're looking at is you're looking at a team that statistically, when we look at these teams, if you go back and you look at the teams that have played in the Super Bowl, what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, well, what are the lowest ranking defenses that have played in Super Bowls? And you might get like the New York Giants at 24. You might get, some of these teams that were in the very, very low 20s. You're not getting anybody that was at 27, 29, 32. You're not getting any of that. So you may find these anomalies where you get a team, but their offense is just so good. But I started going back and looking at it. A team that's ranked number 27 with a plus 15 differential that is allowing less than, 3 points in the fourth quarter over a 6-game stretch. All right. So you start looking at all those things and you say, wait a minute, do I look at the fact that they're 27th? Because that's a number. They are giving up yardage. That is a number. Do I look at that? Because to me, that would say, oh man, yeah, I want to play those guys. Or do I look at the fact that they're not giving up any points in the fourth quarter and they have a plus 15, plus 16 now, because we got 3 turnovers today, right? Or no, I think we didn't. Did we? I don't think we recovered. I think one of the fumbles went out of bounds. We got 2. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so we're still at plus 15. So do you look at this?
The only numbers that matter, Pirate. We're 11-3.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're looking at the defense, how do you look at this defense? Do you look at it as a 27th ranked defense? Or I don't think we've ever seen a defense like this before. And I'm not trying to be cute or funny or anything. I just don't think we've ever seen a defense like this before.
Well, in remember last week too, we shut Kansas City out in the second half. So essentially we've only given up 6 points in the last 2 weeks in the second half alone in football games. You just see this defense really, they make the right adjustments at halftime and they just come alive. And you're starting to see that. I heard you mention it earlier, Bruce Irvin coming alive on the outside. Khalil Mack didn't get his sack today for the consecutive sacks per game, but, Bruce Irvin is starting to do what he's supposed to do. If Khalil Mack's getting that much attention, Bruce Irvin should be causing hell, and that's what we've been seeing from Bruce Irvin. Yeah. And we've seen it in spots all season, but Bruce Irvin is really, really starting to come on strong.
And I got to give that to you, man. I mean, I remember we were talking early in the season, and I was watching Bruce Irvin getting kind of like he wasn't containing the edge, and he wasn't getting quite the pass rush, and I was kind of sitting there like, oh man, this isn't another Lamar Woodley, is it? I mean, we got a guy who's just too old, and he's not going to do anything, and and all of a sudden, like I said, once again, Reggie Nelson comes up big in this game. Bruce Irvin comes up big in this game. These are both Reggie McKenzie pickups at this point. Now, Sean Smith, on the other hand, I don't know. Watching this game, but once again, I mean, I was down on Latavius Murray. Now Latavius Murray's running like the Tay train. Now the train's on time. So I'm hoping something happens with Sean Smith. But man, he looks like a fish out of water.
Yeah, Sean Smith's definitely the weak link on this defense, from my standpoint anyway. I think Michael Smith's played well. How about Nate Allen? I think Nate Allen's had a solid the last 2 weeks. This is a guy that makes plays. I said that earlier this season too. He wasn't the best one we had. I'd rather have Carl Joseph out there, but this was a guy that I knew that can find the football, and he's just flying around and making plays after play, week in and week out for the last 2 weeks. And it's nice having a veteran piece like Nate Allen on the bench to come in and fill in for Carl Joseph as he gets healed up.
Absolutely. I mean, that's
huge.
huge.
The thing we're not looking at as well is our interior defensive line is stepping up too. We're holding people better on the run, and those outside line rushes, like we didn't have the rushes had, we didn't have to push up the middle. So we also got to look at those guys too.
Something that's interesting, Tim brings up a really good point, but something that's interesting is now you've got Danico Autry in there. And they've got a lot of Latham in there. They started the game with a little bit of Williams, but the thing that has changed the most is that Jelly and Dan Williams are not in there on a lot of downs. I mean, one or the other is in there spelling out somebody, but that I think was something that killed us those first couple of weeks. Those guys were just out of shape and they just got pushed around. Now you're mixing and matching some other guys in there. McGee, when he's healthy, we have penetrators now. We have guys that are fast enough to get through the gaps and break plays down in the backfield. We're not forcing our linebackers to have to try to take on guards and match the zone reads and do all those other types of things. So, I mean, that's a big thing too. I think Danico Autry is probably a very unsung guy. This was a guy that was playing at defensive end. He's been making the majority of his money this year inside, shaking it up in the middle, and I think doing a fantastic job.
No, absolutely, and I'm excited about this young core we have in the middle. We talked about not too long ago, Mario Edwards is scheduled maybe possibly to be playing against Indianapolis.
Yes.
You're going to throw him in the mix. So you got Latham, you got Kowser, you're going to have Mario Edwards Jr. back in there. Autry's still a young player. I mean, these are all young, dynamic guys. I think that's our defensive line of the future. I see Dan Williams and Ellis being on the bubble after this season because we just got a ton of guys that are starting to rise up and make plays. Calhoun's been injured. Calhoun's not even in there doing his thing. So, this defense is going to be scary come playoff time.
Absolutely.
You can't skip McGee either. He's awesome.
Oh, hang on. Say that again, Tim. I just hit the button on accident.
You can't forget about McGee in there as well. He's out right now. He's also done really good to help us push that middle.
Right. No,
so
absolutely.
We got a lot of talent there.
Yeah, and it's just going to get better. I mean, when you start looking at it and you start saying you bring in Mario Edwards, now you're getting James Kowser in there. Whenever he's in there, there's a little bit of a spark. He lost the edge today on that one run. He got just kind of pushed inside. But again, those are rookie types of things. He was told by Sean Smith on one play, take the inside. He went to the inside. He got smashed to the inside, and then Sean Smith was the one that ended up getting beat as well. But those are things you're going to learn from those things. Calhoun will get healthy. We're going to be, if they could just get Alden Smith back, we're going to have guys that we can throw at people. I think, yes, there may be a chemistry problem, but all of these guys bring something to the party that's a little bit different. I know Watts Raider normally cleans up, but I know he wants to get on here while you're on here, Jay. So hang on a second. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, today we have two divas on the stage at the same time, ladies and gentlemen. Watts Raider.
What's going on, Raider Nation, man?
What's
going on, Power? What's going on, Knight?
What's going on, brother, man? How's it going?
Hey, man. I don't know. I'm kind of speechless right now, man, because,
Hey, you can hear. Hey, man. Hey, Watts. Man. Hey, Watts. Man, I can hear you smiling, dude. Yeah. I hear you smiling, dude. Come on. What's up with that?
Hey, man, because I'm happy, bro.
Hey,
the Raiders in the playoffs, dog.
Playoffs?
Hey, we 11-3. We 11-3.
Hey, Watts, you got some extra room in that limo and some extra ladies in the chair tonight, man? Let's go over town, bro.
Celebration. Celebrate.
Look, man. We gotta. I only want to do that when we win the Super Bowl, man. So look, we still got some more games to go. So we in the playoffs, y'all. We in the playoffs, man.
You kidding me?
We got an even chance as much as anybody now. You know. So hey, man, look, Raider Nation for life, man. I'm gonna soak it in, man. I'm gonna soak it in right now, man. But I want to just talk about the game a little bit, man.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Man, really, I just got a few points, man, and I just want to say I'm proud of the defense, man. Like, this defense is just coming together, y'all. I mean, when we need stops and we need to get the ball back to the offense, man, we just do it. Anderson coming up making plays, Cowser making plays, Bruce Irvin making plays, man. You know, man, it's just good to see, man, that the defense is getting stronger. Because I said it, man. I said it weeks ago, man, that the defense was gonna get us to the playoffs, and they did it, man. Just look at after the KC game, dog. After the KC game, the defense just did it, man. Just helped us win a lot of games. So I'm just proud of the defense, man. I'm proud of DC, man. I was hoping he would have a bigger game, but he got the ball to 10 different receivers today, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So Carter's on point. He was on point, man. He was on point. Also, man, we ran the ball really good, man. So Musgrave did a good job running the ball, except for that one play. We was in shotgun. It was like 3rd and 3, I think, and we couldn't get 3 yards on the short pass. And he wanted to go down the field with it. But other than that, the running game was really nice, and I like how they got Washington going early in the game, man. Got him some confidence, you know, and that was just good to see, man. So we got to just keep running the football, because that's the way we're going to control games, man, when we run the ball. You know,
absolutely.
I mean, Murray, he fumbled, but hey, he bounced back, kept his head in the game. So everybody played well, man. You know, pretty much, except for Sean Smith and Austin Howard. But that's it. So that means we're a good football team. Only 2 players messing up.
Yeah, but you know what though? Hey,
yeah.
You know what though? I have to say, every time Austin Howard gets beat, okay, it's on the coaches. It's on the coaches. It's a poor play.
Yeah.
Called. Okay, you're gonna put Joey Bosa one-on-one on Austin Howard. You know what? You deserve to get sacked. Your quarterback deserves to get sacked, because and then when that second sack, that dude Austin Howard just stood up and watched him run and hit Derek Carr. You know what I'm saying? He just kind of stood up like, oh man, he was watching that guy like, wow, you're fast. You know, boom, and he just hits his quarterback. So I gotta say, oh, he was in there, but for whatever reason, I think because he's a head case, he came out, you know, hanging out with the wrong people, not living the right kind of life, this and that. I think they probably are just like, look, man, you're a head case. You know, you need to get your life straight. Eat something. But I just can't. Austin Howard is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
He's terrible.
Terrible.
He cannot move at all.
Terrible. And you're not going to have a tight end with him. You're not going to have a double tackle. You're not going to have – I mean, come on, man. It makes no sense to me. That guy's garbage. You know, again, we don't have 2 bad players. We have 2 really terrible players. The bottom line is that Sean Smith breaks that freaking defense, and Austin Howard breaks that offense. That's the bottom line. Both of those guys.
Smith don't want to hit nobody. That's his problem. He don't want to hit nobody.
Or cover anybody, you know.
That too. He don't want to look for the ball when it's coming. He want to concentrate on the receiver too much.
Yep. All right, man. Well, you know what? It's good. We got to soak it in. We're in the playoffs, you know, and like Jim Moore said.
You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yes, Jim. We in the playoffs.
It feels good.
Amen.
Feels good.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to go and eat dinner, but I just want to make sure I let everybody know, miss y'all, love y'all. Pirate, you're killing it, dude. Keep doing your thing. You know, I'm always watching, man, and thanks for getting me on here. And I'll be back sometime.
Man.
I'll call back again.
We'll talk, brother, man. We'll talk.
That's a bet, Pirate, man. That's a bet night, man. Merry Christmas to you, man, and your family.
Merry Christmas to all you, man. And
we are the Raiders.
All right.
All right, guys. Night call.
All right, brother, man. Take care.
Already.
All right. All right. So you got anything else before you go, Watts?
Yeah, man, I just want to say, everybody check me out on Instagram, man. Watts Raider, all one word, all lowercase, man. Check me out on Instagram, man. Facebook too, but I'll be on Instagram a little bit more, man. So
Watts
just come
Raider?
give me a shout out, add me, man. Watts Raider, man. I'm be around.
Okay.
Much
All right,
love to
folks.
you, Pirate, man. Much love to you, Tim.
All right, brother, man. Take care. All right, folks, you heard the man, Watts Raider. If you're on Instagram, if you got a phone, get on there and hit him up. Watts, W-A-T-T-S, Raider on Instagram. All right, we got another caller calling in from Red Bluff, California. Caller, you're on. Raiders. Hang on a second. Wait, hang on, wait.
Playoffs? You kidding me?
What's happening, brother?
What's going on, man? Crew Raider up here, man.
Oh,
Hey,
crew. Oh, if I'd have known it was you, I would have got you on for the night, man.
Hey, it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, this game was getting a little hairy
Yes.
for me. I'm like, why are they struggling with the Chargers? They're so depleted, especially on offense.
Yes.
They were even talking about it during the halftime about how many players were missing. And I really think the pinky, I know Carr has been downplaying it, but the pinky is affecting him having to be in the shotgun.
No question.
So it's making it one-dimensional. And then on top of it, I think it also, because it's for the Chargers, it was Raider week for them. They can't stand us. We're the most hated team in the division. So anytime we play a division rival, even though they might be depleted, they don't really have anything to gain from it, just to try to knock us off of our high horse, even for this one game, is a victory for them. It's a feather in their cap. So, good on them to try to do it, but not good enough. Adrenaline will only get you so far. And when you don't have enough talent, this is what you end up with, another Raider win.
Amen.
So, we're 11-3. I couldn't be more happier. And, what else can you say? We're going to keep going on. I have a prediction. We're going to go 13-3. I said that after the KC win. I was like, all right, so we don't get 14 wins. We'll get 13. So let's just keep going on and let's get this done.
Yeah, I interestingly enough, I was watching that game and I thought the same thing. Like, this offensive line is decimated. I mean, it's decimated. They're putting in third-string centers. They lost their left tackle, who goes out because the right tackle ran into his knee. They have 16. This is incredible. This is an incredible number. And they said that they were the second most. So whoever has more than that is just ridiculous. 16 of their players are on injured reserve. 16. Okay? You only have 22 guys on offense and defense. So, I mean, God, that's like first stringer, second stringer. You shouldn't have depth. They really should be like Cleveland. They should be 0-13, whatever it is, whatever the number is right now. So I thought 0-14. We came out, and I know the mindset. I know what happened. Ken Norton and Jack Del Rio sat down, and they said, this offensive line is so decimated, we should be able to get pressure with just our front four. So let's just sit back and let's just, play our stupid Seattle, zone defense and we'll just rush with four. And Phillip Rivers tore it apart. Anytime you put Travis Benjamin on freaking Sean Smith, Sean Smith's going to lose, right? So once again, I think they came out and they said, well, let's just get pressure with our front four. And, we'll force Phillip. And you know what? It didn't happen because Phillip Rivers was taking 2-step, 3-step drops and getting rid of the football, So once they decided, okay, let's start sending a little bit of pressure. Let's start stunting. Let's start blitzing. Let's start doing some different things. That's when we started getting the 3-and-out. Man, they should have been pressuring this guy all game long. You saw when they started sending blitzes, he didn't know what end was up. But when we sat there and we played in our little, Seattle zone, Gus Bradley got fired today, right? There's another Pete Carroll sort of aficionado guy. The guy, the dude in Atlanta is going to get fired, I'm sure. It just doesn't work. That defense doesn't work. So, as the game kind of wore on, I mean, like you said, the finger is definitely an issue. You take away half of your offense when you're playing out of the shotgun or in the pistol. I mean, a lot of your zone runs. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you're one-dimensional.
Right.
There's only so many plays that you can play out of the shotgun.
That's right.
You got to have something more. You got to have you got to have, split ends. You got to, all kinds of different plays that you can sit there and run. And he's one-dimensional.
And the play action, you remove the play action completely. Oh, okay, yeah, he faked it to that guy. They see the ball. You're sitting back there. They see you with the ball. When you're under center and you turn away, they can't see the ball.
And they were just talking about it towards the end of the game. I think it was like a couple of the last runs when the Raiders were on offense, when the fullback got a lead blocker in, they just followed the lead blocker because it alerted the defense where the run was going to come from.
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, there's only so much you can do from the shotgun.
And yet they still, interestingly enough, like the Knight just said, very astutely pointed out, they're still learning to run out of that crazy non-running formation. You know what I'm saying? Like I, again, every time I want to pick these coaches apart and say how they're terrible, I start to sit here and go, but my God, it's actually working. It's working. What they're doing, it's actually working. This shouldn't be happening.
I think part of it is also the talent that this Raider team has had. It hasn't had it in a long time, and we finally have depth. We have talent on this team. So it goes a lot of credit to this offensive line, as well as to Derek Carr, and then also to the running backs. We have a talented squad on offense, and just wait until Derek Carr's pinky finger. I would almost say I feel sorry for the defenses, but after being depleted out of the playoffs, no, I'm not going to feel sorry at all.
Amen.
I hope when they go, they like push it up a next level, and they start stepping on people's necks in the playoffs and all the way to the Super Bowl, because that would be awesome.
Well, and I think like we talked about earlier, you're talking about getting Mario Edwards back, potentially getting Aldon Smith back, throwing in Kauser in there, getting a healthy Shalik Calhoun. So the offensive coordinators that are going to be coming up as we're heading into the playoffs, they don't have 16 games worth of film on these guys. We've basically been doing it with our second and third team units. Yes, you can see Khalil Mack, but it doesn't really matter because you can't stop him. Yes, you can see Bruce Irvin, but you know what? He's doing what he needs to do. He's got 6-7 sacks now. The interior guys, you know what? Like I said, we're heading into the playoffs and our defense is getting better, and that's really what you want. This offense, a lot of people said it in the very beginning of the season. Shannon Sharp continues to say it. Mike Lombardi, traitorous pig that he is, continues to say it as well. Oh, I don't like their defense. Well, not with that defense. Oh, but I'm going to say it again. This is not a bad defense. Yes, it gets beat. Yes, it gets burned on occasion. Yes, there are some weak links on this football team that can be exposed, but they also are plus 15 in turnover differential, and they get extremely stingy in the red zone and in the fourth quarter. That's a defense. That's just as good as Tony Dungy's defense is in Tampa if you just kind of exclude all the sacks.
And last thing, our boy Marquette King, he was a non-factor, thank God.
Yes, hello.
No yellow flags, no catching and dancing with flags, none of that crap. So good on King. When he did have to punt, he just was a punter.
Well, and you saw that he got
social media stuff and the partying and the antics off the field.
Well, he got that 62-yard punt too, and that's where I thought, oh God, he's going to do something stupid, right? But he didn't. He just kind of walked off the field, and
And I think that's on Del Rio getting into his ear and telling him enough.
Right. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So that's good.
What a game, man. Crew Raider, We're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We are in the playoffs, my brother. And
11
like,
and 3. Let's go flip cards and looting. No, I'm just kidding.
all right, brother man. Well, we
Okay,
appreciate
okay.
you calling, man. It's always good when you call in.
All right. Merry Christmas, Raider Nation. We in the playoffs, baby. 11 and 3. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, caller calling in from Durham, North Carolina. Caller, you're on.
Hey, baby. Hey, baby, made it to the playoffs, man.
There you go, brother man.
Made it to the playoffs, man. Hey, I've had a great year, man. I know a lot of you guys want to go to the Super Bowl and all that stuff. In the beginning, like we said, all I wanted to do was see that improvement and make it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Everything else from this point forward is gold for me. Icing on the cake.
Yeah, you know what? Look, it's an interesting concept. I mean, there's two sides to it. You know, there's a group of people that, like you said, hey man, the Raiders are back, and that's good enough. And then there's a group of people that, you know, are saying, you know what, we're here. Why not go as far as we can go? Let's see what it is that we can do. Did any of us really seriously think as the preseason began that we were going to make it to the Super Bowl? No. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nobody out there that was, yeah, this is our year, baby. You know, maybe some people thought we could make it into the playoffs. I certainly did. But did any of us think that we would be a front runner? Man, we're a horse right now, man. We're coming around the stretch, and we're a horse in this race. And as long as we're a horse in this race, man, why not say, why not us? Just like Seattle did. Why not us, man?
You're right. You're absolutely right. Hey, like after week 2, we were like, man, pulling our hair out. Everything was going wrong and all that. And like we kept convincing each other and everyone else that calls in throughout the whole year, man, just stick with it. You know, this doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. We do this good. We do that good. You know, hey, man, this is what a good year is all about, man. You know, making those different assessments of what's going on, things that we think we would like to see better, things that, you know, things that got done better. The defense coming from giving up 500 yards and 1,000 yards in 2 weeks or whatever it was. Look at them now. You're sitting here trying to figure out how many points they gave up in the fourth quarter, man. This wasn't the same defense we were looking at the beginning of the year, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So everything is a step, and everything takes time, man. This, like Derek Carr said, what Coach Del Rio said. First, we're going to learn how to play and compete. Now, this year, we're going to learn how to win. Hey, man, I'm good.
Yeah.
I am so ecstatic with this team right now. And now looking at some different mock drafts around, man, I'm already on the damn draft, man. This season is a great season for me.
No, it's like I said, it's a really good season at this point. I mean, again, we came out, we tried to figure out what was going on. It was frustrating, you have to admit. But when you look at where Derek Carr is as opposed to where Drew Brees and where Matt Ryan are, those were the first two guys that we played. So we gave up 1,000 yards. But if you take a look, both of those quarterbacks have thrown already with 2 games to go for 4,000 yards. Both of those quarterbacks have thrown already for 30 touchdowns. So that means that if you look back at it, it wasn't just the Raiders that they were doing that to. It just so happened that we played those guys in back-to-back weeks, right? So once again, and we were trying to figure out this defense. So it looked a lot worse than it probably was. And that's why a lot of people say, don't overreact, stay the course. But I think somewhere around mid-season, we were kind of like, okay, this is the way that it's going to go down. And I think we started to become a little more okay with it. Now at this point, like I said, there's no reason in my mind to say, you know what, we're here. let's see how far we can go. I mean, I'm happy too. I'm extremely happy. I do not think that this football team is as good as the 2000 football team, 2001 football team. The offense on that football team was incredible. The defense was a lot, was better, I think, than this defense. But I think this offense has got to get into a little bit more sync. They're putting up a lot of points. I like that. But I just want to see, like what I watched today, I was like, come on. You're not going to be able to do this in the playoffs. You're not going to be able to do this against Kansas City, Pittsburgh, the Patriots. They're going to kill you if you make these mistakes. So, I mean, we got to get better. There's some things that we got to change. But like you just said, man, this is what a good season makes. You're sitting there right now. There's a lot of teams out there. They don't know if they're going to make it in. There's so many things that are going on right now, man. Gronkowski's out. Okay, that's big. That's good. I like that. Other people are like, oh, we want him on full strength. You know what? I'll take him being out. Alex Smith and that.
You damn right.
Hell yeah, I will. I'm not going to lie about it. Alex Smith and the Chiefs, they're not a juggernaut by any stretch of the imagination. They just get turnovers. So if you're sloppy with that football team, you're probably going to lose because they're very, very disciplined. But again, you look, Pittsburgh's got a defense that can be beat. Cincinnati just didn't take advantage of it today. We already beat Baltimore. We've already beat a bunch of teams that we're going to have to play again. So we have the confidence to go in there, particularly if they have to come to our house. We have that confidence. We have a coach that's for real. And I said this the other day on my daily show. Look, everybody kept talking about how Jack Del Rio, nobody wanted Jack. Oh, Jack was lucky because, his phone wasn't ringing off the hook. No, they were hiring a bunch of other people that they've already fired, right? In the time that Jack has freaking been the coach. He's turned this football team around. He's got this team believing. He's brought swag back to the Raider Nation. He's got us back in the playoffs. I don't know what's going to happen from this point. Like you said, if it ended here today, I would be happy, because at least we can raise our heads and say, hey, you know what? You can't make fun of it anymore. You can't just sit, it's the Raiders. Oh, well, what do you expect? It's the Raiders. Oh, just keep playing for 60 minutes because in minute 59, they're going to blow it. And if you just keep playing, like Marty Schottenheimer used to say, no, just keep playing. The Raiders will blow it. They're going to hurt themselves. They're going to shoot themselves in the foot. This season, we've won by leading the league in penalties. We've won by running the ball against the Super Bowl champion. We've run by passing the ball for freaking 500 yards. We've won with special teams. And, we're winning in so many different ways. We're injured. This is a divisional opponent. This team is showing a lot of moxie in a season where a lot of teams are not. The only other team right now that I would say is on the same level, well, perhaps Kansas City and the Patriots. I think the Patriots with Tom Brady, they're just on a different level. And then there's us and Kansas City. And Kansas City may have beat us twice, but if they don't play us, baby, if they don't play us, it ain't going to matter. You know what I'm saying? It's going to go down in the record books. It's like, yeah, they were a better team than the Raiders because they beat them twice. But the Raiders went to the Super Bowl, and they got, bounced out by the Dolphins in the first round.
Yep, and that's exactly what's going to happen to them. Because we're a better team than Kansas City. We lost to them twice, but we're a better team than Kansas City.
Yep.
We should have beat them in that last game.
Yep.
They scored 21 points in the second quarter and didn't score another point the rest of the game.
Right.
And like I said last week, we had the ball 5 times in their red zone. The only critique of the team that I have from the last 3 weeks is that we have to get back to that red zone efficiency where we're scoring points.
But that
we get down there.
That comes with Derek Carr being under center. You gotta red zone. The red zone is so difficult because the amount of space, the depth of the routes that you can run. Everything gets shortened in that window. So you can't be sitting back there in the shotgun taking your run game completely out of the equation. You need the run game. You need to be able to turn around and hand it off to Latavius Murray, who's got a full head of steam, and he's running through a particular hole as opposed to trying to sift his way through garbage because, they're playing out of the shotgun, and everybody could see where he's at and what he's doing. So,
Right.
if we can get healthy, the Denver game, God willing, next week we take care of Indianapolis. That Denver game is going to be huge because it's going to be a snow game. We're going to have to do it. We're going to and that finger's got to be healthy, and we got to be able to prove that we can run the ball against Denver the same way that we did in Oakland. And if we can do that, then I think we can. Man, there's no reason why we can't make it to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying we will. I'm simply saying that if we can if Derek Carr can get healthy, if that finger can get strong, if we can get back and open that offense up again the way that it was, because you hit the nail on the head. This offense has not looked like this offense for the last couple of weeks.
Right, and that's all due to Derek's finger. But the thing that I'm looking at now is our matchup in the playoffs. If we remain the second seed, we stand a better chance. If we happen to fall back to the fifth seed, because I don't think we can fall lower than the first wild card at this point, because nobody else can match our record.
Right.
So maybe if we fall back to the fifth seed, we'll get that first game on the road where we play well on the road. So that doesn't frighten me at all. Or if we remain the second seed, then we'll get that bye, get that extra respite period that's needed for Dex. I think the boy's fingers broke myself, honestly.
Yeah.
I really don't think that finger is going to get much better than what it is. So they're just going to have to learn how to do things around it.
I think you make a good point because, the questions that we were asking were, why not bring in Matt McGloin for a series in that Kansas City game and run the ball and just pound the ball? Why not have him in there in that Buffalo game? Why keep him in there like that? The only reason that I can think of is that it's broken. Because if you look at it, okay, we're in the playoffs. So right now, at this point, we're in the playoffs. Now, yes, it could be the number 2 seed as opposed to the number 5 seed. But like you said, we're not going to fall out of that range between 2 to 5. So at this point, you may as well put in McGloin for a game and let that pinky completely heal. Don't put any pressure on it. These games don't matter at this point. You could literally take 2 games off, completely heal. But if the pinky is broken, it ain't getting any better. And you're not going to want to ride McGloin into the playoffs, right? So, and like I said, Jack Del Rio, and this is all hyperbole, speculation. Obviously, we don't know any more than anybody else does. But the bottom line is Jack Del Rio lies, right? All coaches lie. Mario Edwards. It's a hip thing, but it's not that bad. 10 weeks later, right? Carl Joseph has a shot to play, right? No, so again, you got coaches that have a tendency to not really tell you what's going on. So he's not going to come out there and say it's broke. If Derek Carr is sitting there and he's saying, you know what, coach, I don't really use my pinky. I don't. It hurts. There's some pain, but it's not really affecting how I throw the ball. Now, I read a really interesting article, and in the article it said, even with a dislocated pinky, there's gas that's inside the little pockets of the joints and at all of the joint points in your finger. And when cold weather occurs, the gas expands, and so it gives you like an arthritic, painful type of feeling. Well, if you think of oxygen is a gas, so in the cold weather, the football also expands. So now you have a ball that is expanding. Now you've got to grab on the ball harder, which is going to force your pinky to come more into play than if you were playing, say, like today in San Diego in warm weather, right? So it's not going to affect him. So those two things combined created a situation where he didn't have the right type. So even though, normally speaking, Coach, I don't use my pinky as much as anybody else does, in cold weather, it still becomes a problem. So if it is broken, and if it is a hairline fracture or something of that nature, they're going to have to figure something out. I mean, the good thing is we got Denver. That's going to be a snow game. So if he comes out in that game and he just looks absolutely horrible, well, there's going to be some decisions to make. But at this point right now, still a way to go. But I can't believe it. We're talking about it. We're talking about what we're going to do when we
We'll talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
We're talking about
I just hope we
playoffs.
can win a
That's
game.
right. And
that was a
now
disgrace.
everybody in the AFC is going to start to tremble because it's like, man, damn, I really don't want to play them.
no.
I mean, Oakland is too dangerously on the offense when they're clicking, and their defense is not the same defense from the first 3 games of the year. Man, this team is just flat out too dangerous to play against. And I really don't want to play them. I'd rather play somebody else before we play them because they have a tendency to score from any – they have the ability to score at will.
Yep.
Now, do we have a good enough defense to hold up against that? And if you look in the AFC, no one does.
Right.
Even the vaunted Pittsburgh Steelers can't stop that onslaught if we're playing with our A game. Pittsburgh can't stop us. New England can't stop us.
Right.
I mean, everyone's going to start looking at, damn, the team that I really don't want to play in the playoffs are the Raiders. And I damn sure don't want to go to Oakland and play them.
Unless you are in a cold weather environment. If we go into Denver and we look like crap in Denver and Derek Carr looks totally off and we can't, and we're taking all the balls out of shotgun, then all those cold weather teams are going to be like, I want the Raiders. Imagine if we didn't lead the league in drops and we didn't lead the league in penalties. I like the fact that we made it to the playoffs, leading the league in penalties. That part, I kind of like that. I'm like, you know what? How about that, right? How about them Raiders, right? Okay, but imagine if we didn't lead the league in drop balls, how dominant this offense would be if we just weren't dropping so many balls. And we dropped balls again today, So
yeah,
that's something that they've got to fix. I mean, got to fix it.
that's something they'll work through, man. Like I said, once they start hitting on all cylinders again, because you do have some guys that like Malcolm Smith and Irving and Crabtree that's been to the playoffs before. They can tell these guys, everybody else on that team, look, this team cranks up the damn 300% effort every play. Because once you hit the playoffs, this is do or die. There is no coming back. So once those guys instill in the rest of the team what a playoff atmosphere is like, man, they'll come around. And I really believe that that first playoff game, man, is going to be crazy. It's going to be. It doesn't matter where it is. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
So, but man, you guys have a good one, man. I don't want to hold up the line too long, man. I appreciate you guys. Nice hearing from Knight again. Nice hearing from Knight again tonight.
Yeah.
But hang in there, baby. We're in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
We are in the playoffs. I can't wait to get to work tomorrow, man. So I can put Raiders all over everybody.
That's it, man. It's been a long time. It's been a long, long time, and the Raiders are back, man. We can officially say it. There was the Tom Cable year where we're not losers anymore, And you know, I mean, we had a couple of opportunities to make it. This is a good football team compared to those football teams. I mean, we look back now and think about some of the players on those football teams, and it's so night and day at this point right now. So, all right, brother man. Well, we hope to hear from you next week after the game, man. We appreciate you calling in. Make sure, if you can, to watch the game. Tell everybody you know to please like and subscribe.
All day, baby, all day. All right, man. You guys have a good one.
All right, brother man.
Hooray!
Raiders.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yes, that's what we're talking about here today on this show, the playoffs. Nassau, Zone 5, New York. Caller, you're on.
Hey, what's up, Pirate? This is New York Raider.
What's happening, New York Raider?
Nothing, man. I'm kind of mad because you guys have literally hit on just about every point that I wanted to make. But
Well, hey, man,
I just
do me a favor, man. Give it to us in a New York style, man. See, we're giving you the West Coast version. We're giving you the light version, right? So we want to hear, when you call in, man, we want to hear the rough, the edgy, the New York, the East Coast style version of what we've been talking about.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this, that I agree with the last caller that Derek, that finger is definitely worse than they're, saying it is. I've been saying for a couple weeks that I think if we get to the point where, like, for example, I don't know if it'll happen, but if we win next week and, like, Kansas City loses and, like, we're in a position where it kind of doesn't matter what happens in that last game, I definitely think we should consider maybe putting LeMoyne in at least for some of the snaps, let Derek completely rest that finger up. And the other thing is that the finger is, or the shotgun because of the finger, the part where it's hurting us the most is the part of the game that we were the best at for the first however many games until we got hurt, which was in the red zone.
Yeah.
I mean, we were like one of the best red zone teams in football. We were like 85% of the time we walked away with a touchdown. And now, I mean, look, today and last week, I mean, it's very obvious that, I feel that Latavius Murray's strong point, and don't get me wrong, he's been running well. I've actually been surprised at how well they've been running from the shotgun.
Right.
But I think that Latavius is strong, his strength is he needs to get going because he's so big.
Right.
He's this big guy. He needs to be coming full at you, or it ends up being like in this situation now, he's either getting 10 yards or he's literally getting stopped at the line. There's no in between. And he was doing before the finger. He had a lot of 6 yards, 5 yards, a lot of big gains on first down that made things easier on us in the later downs.
Right. No, absolutely,
And,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say, I mean, you hit the nail absolutely on the head. Latavius Murray needs to be a single back. He needs to get a full head of steam. He needs to have a hole to run through. He's too big to be dancing around back there. He's too big of a target because he's so tall in the shotgun. When he gets it back there, they know exactly where he is, where he's going. They're running with the pulling guard. I mean, I watch him. There's just nowhere to run. Derek Carr's handing him the ball, and it's just like there's nowhere to run. They particularly when they had like 9 guys. Remember when that one run play where, you need like a yard and they put 9 guys up there? You got to check out of those particular types of plays. But I agree with you 100%. It's amazing that he's been able to run as well as he has out of the shotgun.
Right. And, like I said, it's just, again, I understand why these guys wouldn't tell the truth. And I really believe it has a lot to do with Derek and his attitude and his competitiveness. I don't even know. I don't think I know anyone who's more competitive than him, to be honest.
Right.
But, besides that, I mean, I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy. Don't get me wrong. This is a great season. And, I've been watching this team since I could literally watch football, and all the nonsense that I took for years over here in New York. Everyone asked, "You're a Raider fan? Why are you a Raider fan? Who the hell's a Raider fan?" And now, now you start walking around the mall Christmas shopping today and you see a lot more Raider jerseys over here in New York. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll say this, we tried to do a video on Friday And it just didn't work out for technical reasons for me to be able to put it out. But I wanted to do it on bandwagon fans and everything else. All of the guys out there that, are like, oh, there's bandwagon fans. Hey, all you bandwagon fans, please like and subscribe to this channel. I'll take you. I don't care. I never understood it. I never understood people that were like, yeah, man, I'm seeing fans. They're great. Fantastic. What the hell is wrong with that? They want to hold the team in their two hands and they want to stare at the team. Oh, my precious Raiders, my precious. No, you know what? All of you bandwagon people, just put it out there. I don't care. Subscribe to this channel. I'll keep talking with you guys. I'm not going to hate on you guys. It doesn't matter. And I'm not saying that you are New York Raider or anybody else is. I'm just saying I see it a lot on Facebook. I see people, oh, these bandwagon fans coming out of everywhere. What's up with these freaking haters? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, who cares? Al Davis would never have turned any Raider fan away. If there were going to be fans of a football team, Al Davis wanted him to be fans of the Oakland Raiders. And those of you out there that don't get that, you're missing something. You're missing something huge. Yes, they've been losing for a long time, so we haven't. But I'll say this, I don't care. Every single time that the Raiders lost, I'd wear my Raider gear out. I don't care. It's not, you go ahead, make fun of me. It doesn't matter. That's what the Raider Nation is about. We're always going to represent, whether win, lose, or tie, Raiders till we die, baby. We made up all the slogans. We've got all of the sayings. We have the greatest games, the greatest players, and we also have the greatest fans. So those of you out there that do kind of turn around and be like, oh, you bandwagon fan, you know what, man? Embrace your brother. Embrace that guy that decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to give this football team a try. Because those bandwagon fans, 6 months from now, a year from now, 4 years from now, they're going to be hardened fans. They're going to be solid fans. They're going to be diehard members of the Raider Nation. That's how we all got here. And if when we first stepped in and said, I want to give this team a try, somebody came along and said, no. You haven't been here through all the losing years, then I probably wouldn't be a Raider fan today. So, anyways, that's my 2 cents. Sorry about getting on the soapbox there, brother man. I didn't mean to take your fire there.
No, it's all right. Like I said, I don't mind the bandwagon fans either. But you gotta understand where I'm at over here. Even it doesn't matter if they're winning or they're losing or anything. You get a raised eyebrow from everybody, which
right.
Because I don't think I have one piece of clothes in my closet that's not Raiders. And people see you walking around like that, especially in New York, of all places. People got big mouths over here; they got nothing to say or do with their time. So it's not even the people that like the Raiders now or the bandwagon fans that make me mad. It's those people that always would talk and they still, to this minute, they still can never give the Raiders just 1 inch. You know what I mean? It's
right.
They'll be back, they'll do it again, but. Whatever, man. Listen, I'm rambling on here about nothing. Go ahead, take whoever else you get to talk to. And thanks for everything, Pirate Man. And I'll talk to you again soon.
All right, brother man. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. Check out our daily show. We certainly appreciate you calling in. All right, we got a caller calling in from Madera, California. Caller, you're on.
Hey, what's up? This is Junior. I just called. Pretty much you guys talk about everything I wanted to talk, but. I just wanted to say, congratulations to, all the fans or we're in the playoffs, so for a long time, we didn't say no playoffs, but we're finally here, man. It's been a struggle. It's been a battle for Raiders, and I just hope Derek Carr, gets at least 2 games off so he can recover his finger, but besides that, man, we're doing good, and we just gotta keep winning,
That's it, brother. Here, this one's for you.
We'll talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
Playoffs, brother man. Since 2002, we are in the playoffs.
That is crazy, yeah.
What did you think about today's game, though, man? What did you see in today's game? What are your thoughts on Derek's pinky? And what are your thoughts about the Colts and Denver? Denver losing today, Kansas City losing today, the Chiefs losing today. Only one team in the mighty, mighty AFC West had a victory, and that was your boys, the Oakland Raiders.
Well, first of all, I got to start with the coach. The coach, he definitely came over here to Oakland to change the culture. He's definitely, a lot of Raider fans, seeing the difference now. A lot of us won't give, credit. Or maybe we do give him credit, but we just don't see it. But a lot of the stuff, we have to give him credit a lot. The coach, he totally changed everything, in that locker room, and and now they have the pace, playoff, and now we just gotta keep winning, and about Derek Carr, man, he hasn't been the same, I've seen his throws, I've seen how he plays, and I want to see him more center, I see him a lot on shotgun, and I feel like seeing him, in the center more, because I don't know, I just feel like maybe the running back will have a good shot.
Right.
But I'm just surprised, like you guys say, I'm surprised, the Tavius more, what's his name?
Tavius
Murray has been, how the way he's been running the ball, man. He's been doing really good, actually. But besides that, man, we've been doing good. And, I mean, the cold, I'm just scared because, like, let's just say that we play a team in the playoffs and in the cold and the snow. Oh, man, I'm scared, man. I don't know what to expect in their car because that game on with the Kansas City, it was a total mess, man, and I just feel like it was a fight for Derek Carr and everything. I mean, to be honest, Derek Carr is our leader right now, and without Derek Carr, we won't win the win,
Yeah.
So I don't know what to expect. What I think, guys, right now, I think we should just give Derek Carr like at least 2-3 games off, so he can get ready, for those important games, and let him rest. But it's up to the coach, it's up to the coach. I mean, let's be honest, Derek Carr's a fighter. We want that, but poor guy, we don't want him to get hurt more than he is already.
Well, I think that's the big thing. I think that's what they tried to accomplish in the Kansas City game. I think what they really wanted to do was they wanted to win that Kansas City game, and then if they could have won the Charger game as well, then basically you're the number 1 or the number 2 seed. You've got it locked in, and then you can take some time off. It's really hard at this point, still battling for the division, still trying to get that bye. Now you're kind of forced to have to play that injured player. If we could have won in Kansas City, that would have put Kansas City a game back. If we would have won against the Chargers, we'd be 2 games up with only 2 games left to go. Kansas City would have been 2 games back. We would have had the number 2 seed locked up. At that point, with 2 games left, you could have basically sat Carr down and said, okay, let's get that finger 100% healthy for the playoffs. Now they can't do that. The Kansas City loss kind of prevented them from doing that. Now they're in a dogfight, and they don't really have a choice. So like we said, either that finger may have a hairline fracture in it, which means it's not going to get better by the time the playoffs come around. So they're going to have to learn to win doing it this way. And we just don't understand that. So we're scratching our head, or, maybe it does get better. And by the time we get into that Denver game, he's able to get up underneath center. It fully heals. We're able to open up the offense a little more and do some better things. But I just don't I don't see this team. I can't see them winning if they play the way they played in Kansas City. So when we play in Denver, if we look like a different team, if we dominate Denver like we did the first time, or even if we win, but we're competitive, the offense looks good, the defense looks good, and we have a shootout and we win, I'll be happy with that. But if we look like we looked like in Kansas City, in Denver, and we're still in the shotgun 100% of the time, yeah, I'm just going to kind of chalk that up as, well, I guess maybe next year. And hopefully they prove me wrong and we're able to win, in the playoffs, running it that way in cold weather places. I'm not afraid, but I would say I'm a bit concerned. That Denver game is going to answer a lot of questions. If we go into that Denver game and we play 100% of that Denver game out of the shotgun, and Derek Carr is not throwing the ball well, we're in trouble. So we'll see. But that's the beauty of it. We still have 2 weeks to go, but we are in the playoffs, man. We are in the playoffs with 2 weeks to go.
Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Hey, so, yeah, does anybody know? Because I don't understand nothing about that, playoff thing. I don't understand that. Like, let's just say that we lose these 2 games. I mean, who will we play?
Well, that's the thing.
The next game? Because I know.
So that's the thing. So that's the thing. Unfortunately, we could be the number 2 seed, or we could be the number 5 seed. The number 6 seed, well, I think our record is too good for us to be the number 6 seed. So what ends up happening is we may have to go, even though we've got a really good record, we may have to go and play the Texans in Texas or the Titans in Tennessee, because they're the division champion and we are the highest wild card. We're the wild card with the highest record. So basically, they'll take the division champion and the wild card with the highest record, thinking that the division champion would be a very good team. They're going to play it against the team with the highest record, and then the other 2 teams would play one another. So at this point, like I said, if we're the number 5 seed, we would probably be playing Tennessee, or we'll be playing Houston, one of those 2 teams.
Right.
But if we're the number 2
so
seed,
we have the code.
If we're the number 2 seed, then we get a bye. We don't have to play that first week while all those guys knock each other off. And then whoever comes to play us has to play in Oakland before we then have to go to New England. If we're the 2 seed.
I found that bye week sounds nice, but we have to be winning those 2 games, right?
Well, yeah, we've got to – right now we have to win more games than Kansas City, pretty much. So Kansas City right now is 1 game behind us. If we tie, so let's say they beat us or they win next week or whatever, and we lose next week, and then we're tied, and then the following week we both win, they win the division because they beat us twice. So we have to win. If we win next week, we'll be in really good shape.
Nice. Yeah, well, guys, I just want to call for that, man. Nice game. I hope, that Derek Carr gets better. And I didn't call last week, because I don't know, I didn't have the chance to do it. But I'll definitely be watching you guys all the time. If I don't get a chance to call, I will watch you guys on YouTube. So
yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, man.
Make sure to watch our daily show.
Tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, shout out to Knight, and then you, Pirate, and to the Oakland Raiders, and playoff picture, baby.
Amen, brother. All right, we'll talk to you next week, man.
All right.
Hey.
All right.
All right, we got a caller calling in from Richmond, Virginia. Oh, that caller looks like he just jumped off. Tim from Visalia, do you have anything to say before we wrap this show up?
Yeah, I want to wish Merry Christmas to all the Raider Nation out there, especially you, Pirate, and Knight, and Watts, all the people that talked today, and all the people who are listening on the show. We couldn't ask for a better Christmas present, and I'm just so happy right now.
Amen, man. We got one more caller here. Hang on the line there, Tim. All right, caller calling from Richmond.
Hey, what's up, man? I called in last week. This is Raider Solo, man.
What's happening, Raider Solo?
Man, remember when I told you guys Kansas City was going to lose this week?
Yep.
Did I not call it?
You called it. You called it, man.
Kansas City was going to lose. I said Kansas City was going to lose. Raiders were going to win. It wasn't going to be easy because Phillip Rivers is a fucking hardcore guy, man.
Yep.
But I think if Denver steps their shit up, because they need to win next week to make playoffs, and if they do help us out, it's going to be a hard-ass game for the Oakland Raiders coach because they're fighting to get in. But if we win and Denver helps us out, we don't really have to go all out on the Denver game. We can rest starting players.
Right. The only thing the only problem with that setup is we need to see how those players play in a cold weather game. And I think that's something important. It's a little bit of a caveat. I mean, I completely agree. I completely get it. If that finger is just dislocated, fine, sit Derek Carr. Particularly if we get a bye week after that, you're talking about 2 weeks to just heal up that finger. But If not, and, we need to see how Derek Carr plays in that cold weather. We need to see if the Kansas City game was an aberration before we roll into Pittsburgh, Baltimore, New England, any of those types of places. We really need to see, hey, are these receivers going to be catching these balls better than they did, in Kansas City? So it's kind of a good thing. It's kind of a bad thing. The fact that we've got that game, the last game of the season, in the snow, in Mile High, I think is good for us because it's going to give us the opportunity to see where we are as a football team. Are we back under center? Are we using the entire offense? Is everybody healthy? Can these guys play in the cold weather? If we can answer all those questions, I think this team moves into the playoffs very, very confident. If we don't answer those questions, go ahead.
If we win, we're doing a scenario. If I don't like doing with because last time I called in, we were doing the if Raiders win these many games, if Raiders did. I don't really like doing if, but let's say if Raiders win, Kansas City loses, we're not going to get any cold weather because we're going to have home field advantage until we might play the Patriots on the AFC Championship. Let's not get that far away, but that's the only time we're going to play into cold weather until the AFC Championship. Because let's say we do win next week, Kansas City loses next week, we're going to have home field advantage. We're not going to see any cold. We're going to be stuck in our bipolar Bay Area weather for at least two games until we play New England in Boston. So we don't really have to answer those questions just yet. This is like I'm saying, I don't like using if because I'm not that type of person, but we're not going to see, we might not see any coldness until the AFC Championship game, and knock on wood that no tuck rule gets involved that day.
Well, yeah, and again, we use ifs because that's what we're doing here. We're talking, but if the Patriots lose to one of their teams, again, we may not see cold weather at all, right? So we may be the number 2 seed, and let's say Pittsburgh draws Baltimore. The Patriots draw Baltimore. Baltimore beats them. Baltimore would have to then come and play in Oakland. So again, there's a chance that we don't see cold weather at all. My only point is I want to see, is this team fully healthy and can they play in the cold? That's what I want to see. Because too many people are saying, oh, I think we've exposed the Raiders. They can't play in the cold. They're not healthy. They're this, they're that. So my only point is that if we do get to that Denver game and we go in there and we're under center and we're running the ball and Derek Carr looks good and receivers are catching the ball, at that point, I'm very confident moving into the playoffs. If we go into Denver and we look lethargic and we can't run the ball and we can't throw the ball and Derek Carr looks terrible and the receivers are dropping the ball, then you go, uh-oh, this team has problems with cold weather, right? So that's my only point, and again, those can work for us and they can work against us. But the bottom line right now is we are in the playoffs, right? We are
playoffs. We'll talk about playoffs.
Yes, we're talking about playoffs, Jim. We got to talk about playoffs, Jim. You know why, Jim? Because the Raiders, for the first time since 2002, are in the playoffs. It is an early Christmas present wrapped in silver and black, with a wonderful bow right directly on top. All right, man. So we're going to have to go ahead and start to wrap this up.
What can you do? I mean, there's nothing you can do. You can't do anything.
There's nothing you can do. You can't do anything. So we're going to have to go ahead and wrap this up, man. But you got any final thoughts here?
My final thoughts is that
what are your predictions for the Colts, man? What's your predictions for the Colts game?
I cannot give you an exact score. I'm bad at that, doing bad scores.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna win by 10 points. I think Andrew Luck is gonna get rushed a lot, and he's gonna get happy feet. He might throw some interceptions.
Okay. So you think we're gonna be able to pull that game out? And you said that you think that Denver might be able to beat Kansas City.
In Kansas City, yes. Because last week we were talking about that Kansas City, now that they lost their middle linebacker.
Yeah.
So that, what was it, that Achilles injury?
Right.
They're done, bro. They can't. Man, they could couldn't stop that. What's that tight end from Tennessee? They couldn't shut him down.
Walker.
They're getting exposed.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard. They're not going to be able to shut down the run either. So, but we're going to see. One of the things I think Denver. John Elway reached out there. They thought that you could put any quarterback in that offense with that defense, and they would be competitive. That may not be the case. They may struggle. So, I don't know. I mean, if anybody can beat them there, because it's another cold weather team, Denver can. But the beautiful thing about it is one of those teams is going to lose next week. And again, hopefully it's Kansas City because we got a nice little cushion against Denver. Denver couldn't catch us anyway. So hopefully it's Kansas City. And hopefully Denver wins and we're able to pull it out. At that point, man, like you said, we may at that point decide we got the number 2 seed locked up. So, take a break, take the Denver game off.
Yeah, like I'm saying, if we beat the Colts, Denver helps us out and win. I really think that we should. I'd rather get I'm not going to say 100% healthy players. I'm going to say 85 or 90% healthy players. Then see if the Oakland Raiders can win on cold conditions. I'd rather get healthy players than to see if we can win in cold conditions. I'd rather see it when it matters than see it. It's not a practice game, but I don't want to see it as a practice as we could win. We cannot win. So I'd just rather get those 85% or 90% players healthy than to see if we can win a cold game.
Well, I think either one of them is going to be good. I think we need to know, was that an aberration or could it be a problem moving into the future? But I've said this before. Again, I'll say it again. The first time we played Kansas City, they had 2 weeks to prepare for us. I think that's unfair. The second time we played them, we had to play them in their stadium on a short week on a Thursday, so we were the traveling team. Both times things have been against us. It would be great if we got a bye and they had to come to Oakland. So we had 2 weeks and they had to travel to us, and we kicked the smack out of them in our stadium before moving on to our next opponent. I think it would be poetic justice. Even though the schedule and the odds makers were against us, we would have been able to overcome all of those things and then show them when it really mattered, when you didn't have the advantage, when we had the advantage, we were able to beat you. So the season means nothing right now, means nothing. That's what people don't understand. Yes, the 3rd seed, the 5th seed, the 6th seed, the 1st seed. You know what? If you can do it, you can do it. You want to beat the man, you want to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Like I was saying last week, as soon as you make it to the playoffs, your season just started again.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you enter as a 6th seed, 5th seed, 3rd seed. Like I was saying, I was telling everybody, do not panic. Do not panic. We're going to win next game. We're going to make playoffs. And it doesn't matter what number we get in. If we get in, it's a new season.
Right.
New season.
Yep.
Do not panic, Raiders fans. As we make it in, it's a new season. Anything can happen. Matter of fact, if the Cleveland Browns had a chance of making it, they did make it. They might have some percentage of winning the Super Bowl if they would make it to the playoffs.
Right.
It's a new season.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. Anybody can make it. Like we said, it's going to become a whole different season. So for right now, whether you swept somebody, whether you won somebody twice, whether you beat them, again, the Tennessee Titans, the Baltimore Ravens, all of those teams can say the same thing about us. Oh, they beat us in the regular season. So what? Who cares? We'll beat them in the playoffs, right? So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. Appreciate you calling in. I got to go. We got to decorate the Christmas tree. My daughter is just going crazy over there. Appreciate you calling.
One last question. Was today a home game or an away game?
Definitely a home game, man. Those people out there in San Diego, give it up to those guys. I mean, they took over that stadium. They kept showing the stadium. There was probably 2 Raider fans to every Charger fan when they would show the crowd. I mean, it was crazy. When we would get a first down or when the ball was, intercepted, you would hear the entire stadium. There would be a roar coming up for something bad happening to their football team. So, you know, you got to feel bad for the Chargers, but you know what? They're all out surfing. They're all out, you know, knitting hemp baskets and, you know, practicing yoga on the beach and listening to meditation music and things like that. They don't have a lot of time to get in there and watch football games. And, you know, it's just not in the moment. You know what I mean? It's not in the moment, bro. It's not in the moment. So, you know, it is what it is.
I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for any team that is not the Raiders. I don't feel bad for
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, some ringless Chargers, man, they should probably go to Vegas.
Well, I think they're going to move to LA. I mean, obviously, you're not getting any fans coming to see your games in San Diego. They said today that the owner now is leaning toward Los Angeles, which is going to make the Raiders' chances of moving to Los Angeles, you know, drop down. But, you know, I think Mark Davis wants to go to Vegas anyway. That's for a different day. My throat is just going crazy now. All right, brother man, appreciate you calling in, and we hope to hear from you again next week, man.
All right, man. Safe, man.
All right, Lake. Okay, Tim, brother man, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Appreciate the Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you and yours as well. Thank you for always being there, Tim, hanging out. Thank you for the candlelight vigil and, you know, being there from the very beginning. I appreciate you. I know the Knight appreciate you, and everybody else that's a part of this community. Appreciate you, man.
No problem, man. You get that Christmas tree and take care of that family. We'll talk next week, buddy. Go Raiders!
All right, folks, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this post game. Appreciate all you guys for coming on. Appreciate everybody for all of the support. Remember to go and subscribe. You got to hit that little bell now. YouTube has this really weird thing. I don't know. Somebody, if you could leave it in the comments. For some reason, it'll show me that there's like 35 comments. And as I scroll down, I'll only be able to see like 28 or 29. Every once in a while, there'll be a little thing that says some comments need to be approved. But on a lot of videos, I'm not seeing that at all. It's just, I just don't see the comments for some reason, and I have no idea why. So guys, once again, YouTube's doing this thing. You've got to actually hit the little bell to be notified when we are coming out with our videos. We're trying to work that out with our my regular daily videos. So please do hit that subscribe button. Tell everybody you can about the show. We're growing, and once again, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming on here, all of the callers for calling in, talking, and just having a good time. We're in the playoffs, man. We're in the playoffs, and it feels really good. It feels really, really good to say that. So once again, appreciate you guys. I will put out a video tomorrow. I'm a little sick. I was sick on Friday. Then we had some technical difficulties also. But I should be putting out a video tomorrow for sure. So I will see you guys tomorrow. With my Christmas hat. Where is it? There it is. Merry Christmas.